If I start at the front, we have a potato, a set of cork borers, there's a ruler, 10 cubic centimetre measuring cylinder, some labels, 3 clean boiling tubes in a test tube rack. I have a paper towel, a scalpel, sugar solution. The concentration of the original one is 1 molar. We'll need some 0.5 molar sugar solution, and we have some distilled water. In addition, we'll also need a top pan balance and a pen to write on our labels. We start by preparing cylinders of potato. The easiest way to do that is to use a cork borer, which will punch a cylinder potato out of my fresh potato here. So, quite easily, just push down, and when we twist, it comes out the other side, and inside we will have a fresh cylinder of potato. I'll need to eject that, just give it a little push. And because the skin of the potato will interfere with the osmosis process, I'll need to remove the skin from the ends. Each cylinder I need will be approximately 3 centimeters in length. So it looks like from this one I will get just 1 cylinder from this. I'll have to repeat the process again in order to get my other cylinders. The next job will be to prepare the boiling tubes to receive the sugar solution. It's probably a good idea at this time to label the tubes with the concentration of the sugar solution. 1 molar, 0.5 molar, and the last one will be pure distilled water. Distilled water. Right, in this case we've got 3 cylinders of potato. That means we can carry out the reaction at 3 different concentrations. Our first concentration will be the one with the highest concentration of sugar. This is the 1 molar sugar solution. And in the next boiling tube will go the 0.5 molar sugar solution. Again, we need to measure out 10 cubic centimeters, 10 milliliters. The third measuring cylinder will measure out distilled water. No, good. Now we'll need to ascertain the exact lengths of these strips and their exact mass. In order to do that, we will refer to the ruler, and we have a balance, a top pan balance, which we can use to measure the mass. Right, the easiest way to do this is to do them one at a time. So this one at its longest is 3 centimeters, 3.0, and we'll just have to check its mass. Here's the top pan balance. So 2.6 grams. I'll make sure I record that. So the one for the 1 molar sugar solution is 3 centimeters long, and it is 2.6 grams. Once we've retrieved them from their soaking in the solutions, we'll look to see if there's been any change in the length. We'll look to see if there's been any change in the length and the mass of the potato strip. That's the first one. And we'll measure the length of the second one. I'll take its longest side. Nope, that one is a little bit longer, so I can trim it back. There we go. Exactly 3. Okay, now we measure the mass onto the top pan balance, and I have a mass there of 2.4 grams. So again, I put that one down, 3 centimeters, 2.4 grams. And this one can now be added to its solution with the 0.5 molar sugar solution. We move on to the third little strip and we check its length. That's quite good. Oh, again, oh, this one's a little bit long. I'll just trim that off, try to keep it parallel. And that to me looks, that's a better fit. 3.0 centimeters. I pick it up and I can find its mass, 2.4 grams. Very good. And from here, this will go into the distilled water. Now obviously, the longer we leave these, the greater the effect will be. But however, if we leave them too long, there's a possibility that the potato will go mouldy. So, depending on the time we have available to us, we'll try to leave them for at least half an hour. And then we'll come back in that time and we'll measure them. We'll take their mass and their lengths and see if there's been any significant change. With the whole class doing the experiment, we will have a collection of results. We'll pull the results and then we'll use that to plot our graph. Now, the obvious risks that we've gone through, there are a number of sharp implements that I have used. Your teacher may already cut the potato for you. That will avoid you using the cork borers, and you may get to use a scalpel, or again, they may be cut exactly to size for you to mitigate that risk. Once the potatoes have been left to steep for the required length of time, we'll probably go for about half an hour. If we leave them for too long, there's a chance the potatoes will go mouldy, and for a much shorter time than that, it's possible we won't be able to see the effect. The next stage is to retrieve the potatoes, checking you know which potato cylinder you're dealing with. If you were to throw the liquid away into a beaker, then it's a matter of just lightly drying your potato cylinder. That one is 1 molar sugar solution. Then we can measure its length, record that value. So 1 molar solution and the length is and the other property we have to measure is its mass. So we put it there and we can record the mass into our table. So we know how long the chip was before it went into the sugar solution, and we know its mass before it went into the sugar solution, and we know those 2 measurements afterwards. We can now discard that chip. It has done its bit for us. We move to the next solution. That one is 0.5 molar sugar solution. Just discard the liquid, being very careful. There we go. Potato chip, tip him out, and lightly dry him. Okay. And again, I measure the length of the chip. Oh, that's nice. Yes. And once I've recorded that, I can now measure its mass and record that. So I've got the mass of this cylinder before it's gone into the sugar solution and after, and the same for its length. I can now discard this chip. And for the third one, this one has been in distilled water. Throw away the water, keep the cylinder, and then I'll just quickly dry it. You don't have to push it too hard. And once it's dried, we measure the length. Thank you very much. We record the length. Then we can measure the mass, again using a top pan balance. Once we've got the mass, this potato cylinder can now be discarded. And that's it. It's possible to do the experiment at different concentrations of sugar solution, and we can collect the results from across the whole class, pull them when we construct a large graph.